What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. I'm your host, Ronald Kabang, also known as Youcapper from Sportsmemo.com, at Youcapper Sports on Twitter. Got Chris and Munaf once again with me here. That's three straight shows with the three of us combined here. Things going pretty well. Yesterday for me on the Sports Memo side, a little bit different than the personal side. We did take a lot of plays personally with the stuff that we talked about on yesterday's show. Like I told you guys on the first quarter on a couple games, some of those things there, but on the sports memo side, I did go 2-1, but unfortunately, I was like the $2 Tuesday handicapper at sports memo. I had the under in that Kings Celtics game, and that kind of went away in that last 2 minutes and 30 seconds there. 19 points in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go over by a bucket. That was tough to see, man. I thought I was gonna go 3-0, have a good day, but overall, man, everything was pretty solid from a Let's Cap perspective. A lot of things that we talked about, that you guys mentioned as well, man. Just went pretty well. Munaf, let's start with you. How did you do yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday turned out to be a really good day. I know on my show I took the first half over the Hawks and the Pistons game. I think they reached 125. I think we mentioned that on the show as well. Then
Mm-hmm.
Chris talked about the first half, first quarter for the Hawks. I took that and then the team totals as well for the Hawks in the first quarter and first half. Also
Or did he?
took the Thunder money line last 235 on the money line.
Oh shit! I think Munaf's cutting
And
off.
then we talked about
Hold on, real quick, Munaf. Hey, can you
talked about.
reset
Can you
real
hear?
quick? Yeah, you keep cutting off. You think you can reset real quick? Come back in. Chris, how'd you do yesterday?
Yeah, it was a good day, actually. I only ended up giving out two plays. I know we talked about a lot on your show. I gave out
Yeah.
Atlanta first quarter minus the 4.5, and they got that done. And then I also gave out I gave out Bradley Bill, who just laid an egg. I know Minoff was on Bill as well. This dude just did not show up yesterday. Couldn't get into a flow yesterday. Also got into some early foul trouble. A couple of looks that we talked about, as he did cash. Washington, Orlando over 111 in the first half. Got
Mhm.
there with a big second quarter. Spurs team total under also cashed. The Pelicans first quarter, the same trend that we ran for Atlanta also
Yeah.
cashed as well. And the Cavs minus 3. I know Munoz was on that as well. All those cash, but officially just 1-1. A lot of the plays that we talked about on show cash yesterday, though. So hopefully people were able to make some money.
Yeah, Munaf, I think you look pretty. I think you're. I don't think you're cutting off now. So go ahead and continue what you were trying to say.
No, it's just, it was turned out to be a pretty good day. I don't want to regurgitate everything. I think it ended up going 5-1 on my picks that I put on Twitter.
Okay.
So, yeah, hopefully we're gonna carry that
Amazing.
over
That's
to
what I'm
tonight.
saying. You guys gotta follow us on Twitter or Munaf and Chris. They share all their information on there. They do a lot of shows. They share the links to those shows on their Twitter as well. Yeah, man. Hopefully we continue going in that direction. I think we're having a good show. I mean, dude, the past couple of weeks on the show, Chris, that you've been on it a lot last week as well, and this week, hopefully we just continue going in that direction. Uh, couple up a couple units just playing. Not 100% sure what you mean. Maybe some of the stuff that you're. I don't know what you're trying to say, Vaughn. But
Probably up a couple units based off the plays that he's getting
oh,
from
okay,
the
gotcha.
show.
All right. I was like, wait. All right. Well, you know what? Let's get into the slate today. We got 10 games. And we got the Nuggets and the Wizards up first. Did you guys have anything on this one? I'll bring up my screen.
I'll
I
let you
did.
go first.
Yeah, let me know my internet's cutting up because I feel like the signal's a little low. But
Okay.
I did play the first quarter over in this game. RC, if you want to take a look at Wizards um, on a back to back, excuse me, on a back to back at home.
3-5 straight up. 4-3-1 ATS. 6-2 to the over first quarter. You say you're focusing on
Um,
that first quarter?
yeah, first quarter over. I think it's at 59.5 right now. And
Mm.
I think also for the Nuggets, if you take a look at them on the road, where their previous opponent is on a back to back and they're coming back home, I think that's what I pulled up.
Nuggets on the road and their opponent is on the back to back.
Opponents, yeah, on a back to back. I think it's a very small sample.
Oh yeah, I think I looked at this one last night too. That's a good one. Um, Nuggets, yeah. This is another thing too. We talked about the Wizards yesterday without Kuzma. Their offensive rating somehow goes up, and their defensive rating obviously gets worse. So I can only look towards the over in this one, whether it's the first quarter or the full game. You can see how they did against the Magic yesterday. We cashed that Magic side yesterday, and it was primarily because of that Kuzma, being gone from the lineup for the Wizards here. It makes sense to me to start off fast there for the Nuggets, especially with who plays primarily in that first quarter for them. Chris, what are your thoughts on this one here?
I would only be able to look at what Munaf is saying. When I looked at this game, I looked at the Nuggets team total specifically. I think Munaf was on to something, but just adding one more parameter. If you look at the Wizards when their previous site is not their current site, and they are also unrested as well. So I looked at Wizards are 6-0 to the over. Each one of their opponents have gone over their team total when they're playing on the second leg of a back-to-back, and it's not in the same gym. So Wizards rest equals 0. Previous site is not the current site. They're allowing 123 points per game in that spot, and only held one team under the 117. The team total for the Nuggets today is 117. And then I look so you can see it right there. The points allowed. Yeah. Every team has gone over their team total, so it's not a good travel spot for them. On the opposite side, I looked at home dogs RC playing on the second leg of a back-to-back. Previous site equals not the same site. Okay. Facing an opponent that has a 55% win percentage or better. So opponent has a 55% win percentage or better, RC, and game number is after 10, because there was a couple games that came up at the beginning, and I wanted to kind of filter those games out at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I know what you say about that, because the percentages are so wide because of the number of samples, right? The sample size.
So I just did 10, RC. And what I came up with was 0-11 straight up, 2-8-1 against the spread, losing those games by an average of 11 points. So that trend right there says you can take the Nuggets on the spread. I think it opened at 6.5 when I saw it last night. It's up to 7. Yeah. I couldn't talk anybody off later than 7 points, but I played the Nuggets team total, just full game team total over the 117.5 in this spot, RC.
I like that. I like, you said the Nuggets team total over, right?
Yeah, Nuggets team total over 117.
I like that. That's kind of where I was going with it when I was saying that the effect of Kyle Kuzma on the defensive side of the ball. That the Nuggets team total over seems like it might be the best one out of everything that I was kind of looking towards in this game here. I was leaning in towards the Nuggets direction as well. I think they should be able to cover this game. But typically on the road versus non-conference teams, or just against non-conference teams in general, they haven't been covering too well. So if I looked at that,
I got one for you real quick, RC, before you pull it up. So yeah, I got matter of fact, I got the link right here. I'll just send it to you so you don't got to type it in. In the private chat real quick, because I did look at the Nuggets on the road as 6-point favorites or more in non-conference game, and they are 2-0 in that spot straight up, I think, and against the spread, winning those games by about 17 points. So when they catch these Eastern Conference teams and they're big road favorites, they have been covering in that spot.
Gotcha. Okay, yes, because I was just looking at it from a non-conference perspective as a whole, right? Like as a whole, but you did the deeper dive to it. So just non-conference 13 and 14, not the best percentage. I think it was on the road where they were like, okay, yeah. So it's just pretty much like 50%. It's not like a winning record or whatever, but yeah, you broke it down a little bit further. That makes sense. I just would rather trust what I feel like the Nuggets could do, and that would be score against the Wizards.
Agreed. It's also the last game of the road trip as well, right? Like I think they go back home and they got a big non-conference game coming up. I forgot who it is that they play against, but
that's a key game there. But they don't play until Saturday.
They don't play until like Saturday. Yeah.
You had something to add to that one?
I was gonna say, if you want more support on the over, just take a look at Wizards non-conference games at home.
Goddamn, 11-1 to the over. That's a good look. I don't know why I didn't look at that. That seems simple enough to just quickly look at. That's a good look. Team total over, so only 4.
And rest equals 0, RC.
I think Tony Finn was on triple double today, and he liked the over in this game too. So a lot of things pointing towards the over there. I like it. Over. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Actually, anything to add before we move on to the next one? Are you guys gonna go back to Beal? I feel like I feel like it's gonna switch spots. KP yesterday and Beal today, but it's up to you guys. I'm not gonna play that. I do like one prop today. I'll talk about it later, but yeah, let's move on to the next game here. Pacers and the Raptors. I don't have a lot on this one here, guys. It's on you. Munaf, you got anything on this game here? I don't kind of like it.
Maybe Raptors team total over. I didn't look too much into this game, honestly, but I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's maybe a play that probably makes sense here.
Raptors team total over. So it's
Yeah.
gone up from 8 to 9. So it seems like the market is going towards Toronto here. Total going down 234.5 to 234. Anything on this one, Chris?
Initially, I was looking at what talking about the over for the Raptors side, just because the Pacers have been so bad defensively. I know they're bottom five defensively. They also without Halliburton. That's something that we looked at the other day. I see. They tend to play terribly without
He's still out.
Halliburton. Yeah, Halliburton's gonna miss a
Mhm.
couple more games as well. I think that's why the spread's moving in that direction. The Raptors have been able to score recently. Also, even looking at the last game that they lost to the Bucks over the weekend, they were able to put up some points in that game. They do kind of rank bottom five in effective field goal percentage, which actually made me kind of pivot towards wanting to take maybe the under on the Pacers side. But when
Yeah.
I looked at it, the numbers were a tad bit too close, so I just really just didn't get there with either one. This is a double revenge spot, RC, for Toronto. They lost twice already to the Indiana Pacers this season. I got the Raptors also, RC, is 5-0 straight up and against the spread post All-Star break at home, where they're averaging about 118 points.
Yeah.
And Pacers giving up 123.9 in 12 games post All-Star break. So I guess I lean, like Mino said, towards the Raptors team total to go over versus the Pacers to go under. I think the Raptors should be able to get whatever it is that they want today. Pacers still play with a lot of pace, but I didn't play anything officially.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think if you said Raptors team total over, right? Would you correlate that to them covering the spread in general?
I think so. I think especially the first quarter as well for the Raptors. I mean, we talked about it all season long how Pacers have been really bad in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And you guys talk about it's a double revenge spot as well. So I think they'll come out and play well here. Do the Raptors. And again, I think with everybody healthy for this Raptors team, I want to say that OG Anunoby popped up on the injury report. I'm not sure. I need to double check that. But regardless, I think you got to continue fading this. The Pacers team in the first quarter, especially on the road.
Mm-hmm. Look at this one that just randomly popped up. The Raptors after the All-Star break at home, 5-0.
I said that, RC. You won't pay no attention to me.
Oh shit, my bad. I was writing down
No,
notes.
he said that makes sense. That's why he didn't
Yeah,
pay attention.
yeah,
He
you know
said-
what that
he gave
means.
me one that makes sense. Yeah. I said I see that 5-0 straight up and against the spread at home, averaging 118.
The first quarter gap is there. I think LJ was mentioning that too. So that would be a good look on the first quarter. My bad, Chris. You know how I am. All right, let's move on to the next one. Don't want to take too much time on that. The next one here,
Bradley Bill just questionable now.
downgrade.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang, that's crazy.
They take
Nobody
it with
else?
Victor Wembanyama. They just got there late.
Nobody else.
Yeah, they're
Gotcha.
too late for that.
Oh yeah, a couple other things too on the Spurs game, but we'll see if we even touch that one. Wait, I think I was gonna touch that one on the prop side. Okay, next one, Warriors and Mavs. I think a lot of people like this game here. Luka upgraded to probable. Kyrie still questionable. You guys think he plays?
Well, Luca is in, right? They said he was probable. I don't know. We saw some reports saying that he was in a walking boot after that game against the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't know, man. But I think regardless, if it helps the pace if he does play in this game, because I already bet the over in this game. But I don't know. It's Warriors on the road, 1 day's rest. You know how that goes towards the over. So
Yeah,
one of my bigger bets tonight is the over in this game.
I like it. I talked about the over as well on the triple double. I know they went under in a couple of them, the most recent ones, but I feel like you gotta continue doing it, especially against this Mavs team. I think from a playoff perspective, both of these teams are really motivated to get this win here. That's probably why Luca got upgraded to probable. But one thing that I did look at, if you, the travel spot here, I think maybe Chris was probably going to talk about this too. But the travel spot for these both of these teams here, I think it was last game of the road trip for last game of a 3-game road trip for the Warriors. So if we go A and site streak,
It's not a huge travel spot for the Warriors because they went from Houston to Dallas, which is about maybe an hour flight, if that. So I mean, I understand they are on a road trip, but the
yeah,
trip from
yeah.
Houston to Dallas is not that large.
Oh yeah, no, no, for sure. I think it's more of the site streak.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
at least three road games in a row, and then going home on the next game here, 4-1 to the over. And you see that combined average score there. They're giving up a lot of points in that game, in that trend there. None of the games went into OT, and then on the opposite side, you have Dallas. I think they're going home, first home game after 3 straight road games. So if we go Dallas, oh sorry, Mavericks and home and site streak less than or equal to -3. 4-0 to the over again in that range of that 240 mark. So that's kind of like what I was looking at. I was more towards the total than the side here, just because a lot of the injury, the injury news. Luca coming back after what 2 weeks now. You don't
Mm.
know where the rust is there. Also, from a trend aspect, we talked about it on the show before that Kyrie in and Luca out. They've been covering. They actually are 4-0 ATS now in that trend with Luca in and Luca out and Kyrie in, but when they're both in together, they're 2-7 ATS, 6-2-1, I believe, to the over. So yeah, to me, a lot of things are pointing towards the over in this one. Chris, did you have anything on this game here?
I like from a prop perspective. I like Christian Wood. I
Mhm.
think his double doubles in play just because Golden State bleeds points and rebounds to centers. He missed it in his last 2 games by 1 rebound in both games, but he did have one 3 games ago against the San Antonio Spurs. I think just looking at his minutes, he's seen an uptick in his minutes. He played at least 28 minutes, which is something that kind of fluctuates with Coach Kidd. But he has played 28 minutes in all 3 of his last 3 games as well. And I think just looking at it from an advantage standpoint, the Warriors, like I said, they're bleeding points. They've given up their bottom 10 in center opposing center rebounds and opposing center points in the last 10 games. And you just look at this Warriors team. We've been attacking. Shout out to Munoz. He talked about Jabari Smith Jr. the other day. Jabari Smith Jr. got a double double, but in that
Yep.
same game, Tari Eason also got a double double
Yeah.
in the same game.
Yeah, yeah,
Zubac had 19 and 16. AD had 2 double doubles. So I'd be, I think it's probably, nice plus money play, but I'd be looking at Christian Wood to, and Looney is also listed as questionable in this game. I don't think he is officially in. He's been playing hurt. Even more of a reason to kind of target Christian Wood in this spot, I see.
yeah. I think the pace of play too, it kind of bodes well for him as well, right? Because I think having a big that can move like he can would be good in this matchup. Real quick, Bryce A with a trend here. I did cut it off at 2017 just for more recent current form. 9-5 straight up, 9-5 ATS, 10-4 to the under. So looking more towards the under than the over in this game. But he's looking at least a 4-game road trip, right? Lost 2 in a row here, coming off a road win. So it's kind of specific on as far as like how their road trip is going. That's the only thing that worries me is that it's really, really, really specific. But then there's actually a pretty decent sample size pointing towards the under there. I don't really know how to take it. It's hard for me to take someone else's trend and kind of digest it really quickly on the spot. But my only worry is that it's really specific.
I was just gonna add, I see that the Warriors defense or lack thereof cannot be quantified in a quick
Yeah, no,
it's
no,
really
no.
hard to quantify how bad their defense has
Yeah.
been this year.
I think more so it's more. I think more so it's the trend, right? The trend aspect of it. I mean, not the trend aspect, the side streak of it. Is that me? What the fuck is that sound? All right, so let's move on to the next. Anything else on that one before we move on? No. All right,
No.
let's go to Knicks Heat. Real quick, I just gave this one out on triple double. I like the under here. I think the total's going in the wrong direction. Chris, I know we probably looked at a lot of the same stuff here. So let's start with you on this one. Talk about some of the trends.
Yeah, so first thing is, looking at the Knicks, they just gave up 140 something points against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So bounce back spot for Coach Thibodeau. I know Ski was talking about that in the chat earlier today, and I would believe in that as well. I like that the total is going up because then we get a better number on it.
Yeah.
I don't mind disagreeing with the market. And I think people are, probably going to bleed points, but on the Heat side of things, this is a double revenge game for them as well. So I like the aspect of, I listened to the post-game interview, post-practice interview yesterday with Coach Postra. And he talked about, trying his best to limit Julius Randle, who had his career high 57 points the other day. So I think they come in with a, key focus. I think the rest in this spot is also, something that's major as well. I see you look at the Knicks on the road as a dog on the first leg of a back-to-back because they do play in Orlando tomorrow versus the Magic. I think they're 5-1 to the under in that spot. 5-1 to the under in that spot. And we know Miami, they still play at bottom 3 pace. The Knicks, even though they've been able to score and been more efficiently, a more efficient team, they also still rank bottom 5 in pace post All-Star break and for the entirety of the season. So those are just a few reasons why I like the under in this spot.
Yeah, Munaf, did you like the side or was it the total on this game?
I think I had Knicks first half. There was an agreement with Chris.
Yeah, that's what it was. Knicks first half.
But also did have going back to the Jalen Brunson prop as well, over 5.5 assists here tonight. I want to say either post All-Star break or over the last 5 games, the Heat are allowing the most assists to their opponents over that span. I know we talked about it last show. He had 10 assists against the T-Wolves, and then he also had, I want to say it was 6 assists or 8 assists in a prior game against the Heat as well. So I'm gonna go back to that train. It's at plus money again here today, over 5.5 at plus 105 for Jalen Brunson.
I like that. I just wanted, I didn't get to dive deep onto it, but I like that play a lot. So I'm just looking at his potential assists. So 7.5 after the All-Star break, but he was he's been limited.
Battling injuries.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's going to change a little bit here. Also, Grimes, I think being added into the starting lineup too. I think it's better for him as far as the assist side because he got someone that could shoot out there to kind of get those assists there. So it makes sense to me. The one thing that not one, but I was looking at this one too, Chris, the 5-1 to the under, the road dog next first leg of back-to-back games. But if you look on the Heat side, we just say that they're at home. Obviously, the one thing that people tend to look at is that ATS spread number, right? But I'm just looking at the average combined score here. It is under the 220 mark, which was the open, and now you see it going up to 224.5. But if you dive deeper into it, right, we go home, and then we say that it's a conference game, and then we say, win percentage. So home conference game against a team with a winning record. So these sort of like these playoff atmosphere type games, right? We got a lot of low totals right here, like 220s, under 220 for sure. But the average combined score here is 214.2, well below what the current total is. Even though it's a 6 and 4 to the under, I feel like the under is the play here from a league wide perspective. If we look at this season, we look at road dogs, and then we say first leg of back-to-back games, and we add the opponent has 2 or more days going into the next one. Oops. 2 equal. There you go. So this says road dogs on the first leg of back-to-back games facing a team that has extended rest going into their next game. 25-7-1 to the under there. That's one league-wide trend that kind of pointed me in that direction. So I can only look towards the under in this game. I was leaning towards the Knicks side, but I just, with this number where it's at, I feel like we only need the Heat to win, not cover by margin, and they win at home, right? They just don't cover the larger spreads. Anything else to add on this game?
Munaf mentioned first half Knicks, and I'm on that as well, RC. But real quick, while you had that up, RC, if you were to take out, I think it was just opponent next rest is greater than or equal to 2. If you add that it's after the All-Star break, those games are also going under at a 71% rate. 12-5 to the under, I think is what I saw that.
We're just
Because
taking out the. Or,
we were talking about, and after All-Star break and add that it's a conference game. Um, those games are also going under. I think I got 5-12. You got 5-11. Okay. Yeah, but either way, really
yeah, no, that makes sense.
high percentage. But yeah, Knicks first half. I see. I just expect to bounce back. You also, I look so for this one, we know the Knicks are the best ATS team on the road in the first half throughout the season, and I also just think that they bounce back after giving up 141 points. And I think they're a better team. I think we all agree that they're a better team here, even if they are the dog in this spot. So I think if you just go through and look at it. I looked at the Heat post All-Star break at home, RC, and they're typically doing a lot of their damage in the third quarter. We know that the Knicks score a lot more points in the first quarter in the first half. So Knicks first half +1 is another play that I took as well as the under.
Knicks first half. Do you think that they? I was gonna think of like some type of pivot if you like to. Do you think that they limit the Heat points in the first half as well?
I would say so. I would say so. But they can flat out score, right? So if we think that if we think that this game has any chance of going over, then it's probably going to be in the first half, and then Miami really slows down the pace in the second half, right? And I'm pretty sure we could pull that up from a Killer Sports perspective if we just looked at the Heat in the second half. Let's look at the Heat real quick post All-Star break and see when they're giving up the most points. I see when they're at home.
They're giving up more in the first half. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, which is why I kind of like, because I know the Knicks score a lot more, and if it's a team that I'm banking on, I think I trust the Heat a
My
little
bad.
more in the
I
second
think I
half.
asked that question wrong. I meant if you like the Knicks, do you think that they limit the Heat um offensively in the first half? Like the Heat team total under, my bad.
Oh, right. No.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree. I think, but I think the pivot to that might be to take the Knicks over in the first half, maybe their team total over in the first half, versus taking the Heat team total under,
yeah.
just because, which is why I guess I'm talking myself into the spread, which is why I'm on the spread, because I feel like we know that the Knicks offense dries up in the second half. Even when they have bad games, they typically score a lot in the first half and then can't keep it together in the second half. So that's why
Gotcha.
I would look towards the Knicks to go over in the first half, I think, more so than the Heat to go under.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's go on to Spurs Bucks. Do you guys have anything on this one? This one is kind of crazy. 17-point line, right? Is it 17 and a half? Yeah, 17 and a half open here. This is crazy. I can only look at this game from a prop perspective. I can't touch it in any other aspect. Do you guys like anything in this game here?
Go ahead, Chris.
So real quick, I see. Look at this real quick. So this is what I create. I create the Bucks as home favorites of 12 points or more, facing an opponent that's on the second leg of a back-to-back since 2020. And they're only 3-4 against the spread in those games, but they are dominating early. They win in the first quarter by average of 8 points, win the second quarter by average of 5, which is good for a 13-point lead at halftime, right? So,
Yeah.
All right, so now let's flip it, right? Let's look at road dogs of 15 points or more on the second leg of a back-to-back. Same year, 2020. Same year, 2020.
I say that one more time. So road
dogs of 15 points or more, second leg of a back-to-back. And what you'll find, I think, is 5-9. Yeah, 5-9 against the spread, but also getting dominated early in the first quarter, losing by 8, and also losing the second quarter by 5, which is another 13-point deficit. So I think the Bucks first quarter could be the spot, especially with the injury news that we just got.
Okay, well, so
looking at first half as well, and then you let up. We always talk about that. Maybe you let up in the second half, but to me, it kind of feels like the spot just based on those two queries.
And if you just want to look up Bucks, Bucks at home and opponent rest equals 0, you'll see the first quarter discrepancy.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay, so well, the what I have to add to that first quarter then is this one here, just on the season, double digit favorites at home against the team. So not just limiting to the Bucks, but in general, it is a league wide trend that they kind of dominate that first quarter or first half. So man, did you guys play that first quarter? What is it, like 6?
I
It's
did.
6
It was
right
5.5.
now.
I got it at 5.5.
And if you
That's
want to go
great.
even further, RC, just add in non-conference right there.
On this one?
Yeah.
So first half.
Oh no, I'm sorry for the Bucks at home opponent
Oh,
rest
gotcha,
Eagles.
gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. So just saying more so the okay, so team equals Bucks. Was that one it?
Just take the line. You can use that, and then if you want to take the line out,
Fucking first quarter is crazy. I like it, dude. You guys talked me into that one. I
Their
was
team
like, I
total
don't.
is team total I see is 33.5. That's the highest team total I've seen in the first quarter all season.
yeah.
I
Don't be surprised if they put up 40 in the first
It really would not surprise you. Yeah, the Bucks first quarter team total I see was 33.5, highest I've seen all season.
I would what? So that was the only game. So let me do some real quick. I'll take the Nuggets game out. Rockets and Mavs and Spurs. So we go 41. So they won by 18. They scored 41. And then they won by 8, scored 41. Okay. What would you guys do here? You haven't taken anything yet, right?
I would take
I took
both.
the first quarter. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
You did take the
the
spread. You
I'll
guys
just
took the
take
I
spread.
took the first. I got the first quarter at 5.5. I see earlier.
Oh god, I was kind of scared because of the number of that first quarter, but
That's why we do this SDQL, because if not, I would have stayed off. Somebody actually asked me about this on my show.
I'm about
this
to
morning.
go half on the. I think I'm gonna go half on the first quarter spread and then the team total over.
Yeah, that's a good look.
Man, that's fucking dope. All right, well, this is what I had for the prop side. Shout out to A Wang for this trend, or not the trend, but the syntax for this. But this is basically what I pulled is Bobby Portis stats for the Bucks this season when they're double digit favorites. His PRA is 19.5, I believe. But you could probably just grab his points and rebounds, but you could see close to a double each time, hitting that 19 mark alone, the lowest for his points and rebounds, but you can get 19.5 for his PRA. So in these spots here, when we know that the Bucks are going to dominate, he's going to have heavy minutes, right? Because he's that guy that kind of plays with the starter, not with the starter, but yeah, well, you could say he plays with the starters at times, but also the second unit. So he's probably going to capitalize on a game where they're going to dominate and get heavy minutes. And I would say double is in play, but I do like the look of his points, rebounds for the most part. You can get one thing that I saw earlier. If you put it together itself, just I said 12 points and 8 rebounds. That was like plus 280. So he doesn't even need to get the double. You don't have to force it, but 12 points and 8 rebounds is around plus 280. Chris, I know you're smiling because I'm talking about props here, but
hey, I'm just smiling. I feel like you probably feel RC sometimes when you hear me give you these crazy trends and you tell me all this stuff. Hearing you talk about props is like, it's kind of eye catching. I like it. Telling me how I can, who is telling me how I can take props?
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
Anything else before we move on to the next game here? No. All right. So first quarter, Nuggets team total over. I like Bobby Portis. Let's get
Bucks
it,
team
Bobby
total.
Portis. Bucks team total. Yeah, Bucks team total. Let's go on. The next one is Sixers and Bulls here. I like the Sixers in this game. I also do like. I think it was the under. Let me see what my trend said. I think it was more so the Sixers than anything, but I did lean towards the under as well. Did you guys take anything on this game here?
I didn't have anything for this game. Probably just Embiid props. Feels like Harden may not play, so maybe just pivot to maxi props. But as far as the game, I feel like that the Sixers should have won that game on Monday at home if it wasn't for a lackluster performance from James Harden. He only had like 5 points and like what 2 of 14 shooting or something
Yeah,
like that.
messed me up. Yeah, we hit his assist prop, but he definitely affected
Yeah.
that game on the offensive
Yeah.
side of the ball. He shot like terrible. I think like under 10% from the
Yeah.
field. So you're only taking props on this one if you take anything?
I think I would like Sixers. Coming off the revenge spot.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I have here, that revenge angle.
Yep.
They've been one of the best ones this season as far as the revenge angle. They did lose that same game here against the Bulls, like you just talked about here.
Mhm.
I did take the Sixers in that one. We ended up losing. I gotta go back to them here. One more thing to add to this revenge angle, it's that back to back when two teams play each other back to back. So we go PO team equals O team. I mean, they played each other in the previous game, and then they're playing each other again. 6-1 straight up, 6-1 ATS. The average gap right there, look at plus 17 on the full game margin. I can only look towards the Sixers. Yeah, Boofer mentions it right here, the trifecta today. It looks like that's the way that to go, in my opinion. There. This is the if you know trend here. Towards yeah. Okay, so Chris, anything else on that one?
I played the Sixers as well, minus the 3.5. I also played the under in this game. I see you talked about it, so that's a trend right there that kind of supports both the under and both supports. I mean, you had one as well, but for sure. supports both, and it's the same thing you just kind of said. It's if the previous game went under, and then the total is under the previous total, it opens lower than the previous total, and I just put home dog in that spot because the Bulls are. So it's a fade of the Bulls, 65%, and it's a fade of the and it's a play on the over 73% as well. And then one more thing I see is I think this one is for the under as well. I just dropped it. Oh, I dropped it in the comment section. I'm at the
good. Now they got it. They can save it now.
Yeah, they can save it now too. Yeah. But that one should also give some support to the under as well, RC. And you mentioned the Sixers. They're 6-0 to the under as well when they're in these revenge spots. So I think that they take this game serious. Know that it means more to the Bulls, but it also means more to the Sixers because the Celtics won yesterday. They were trying to catch the Celtics.
Yeah, I think they're really battling for that first spot. I think they really want that home court advantage throughout.
Yeah.
One more thing against the Bulls here. So we go season equals 2022. And then they go from road to home. So P, A, and H. 5-11 straight up, 4-12 ATS. So this is some support for the Sixers side. If we go and add, we're looking at these lower totals, so like slower pace, defensive minded teams that they're going against. So under 230. Was that it? Home dogs. My bad. So under 230, you see it there, but then you add that there's a dog in the situation. 0-5 straight up, 0-5 ATS. It does look towards the over. But if you look at average combined score there, you see that it is under. They're going under their team total as well. That was another pivot, was more so if you don't want to take the Sixers, maybe just take the team total under on the Bulls side. I feel like there should be a bounce back situation. Not only bounce backs can happen on offense, but also defense too. I think they're going to make the proper adjustments to limit the Bulls.
Bulls also been the best defensive team post All-Star break too, I see. So that number could be a little misskewed right there, the 117 that they're giving up. Since they got Patrick Beverly, they have been playing a little bit better defensively.
Oh, yeah.
So just something
that's a good point as well.
Yep.
PG out 2 to 3 weeks with sprained knee.
Damn. That's the rest of the season, basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
As soon as we think we know what's going on in the NBA, we find out we really don't know nothing. The cards just get reshuffled.
All right, so Sixers and under seems like the only ways to go there. And then who was the guy who are you mentioning for the prop side, Munaf? Maxi? If Harden is out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I endorse that. I will be on him as well if Harden is rolled out in this game.
All right. Okay, so next game, I put Sixers and Bulls twice. Hawks and Wolves. This one, there was a lot of competing stuff from a side perspective, but Munaf, I think you had an angle. It might have been for, I forgot what side it was. Was it the Hawks? You got an angle on the Hawks side?
Yeah, I was looking at the Hawks. and I think it's more theory based here, or kind of
I
pulling
got
the
you.
curtain back a little bit. That with Cat coming back here, like, do we expect the offense to look like it did at the beginning of the year, where they were trying to figure out what they want to do with Rudy Gobert and a Cat at the same time, because the offensive efficiency just wasn't there for the Timberwolves when both those guys were on the floor. But also, RC, if you want to look up, if there's a way to look it up, how Hawks are in a situation where they're avenging an opponent, because we saw Timberwolves last week come into their building and absolutely blitz them.
You're talking about the revenge angle?
Yeah,
I
like,
got you.
yeah, Timberwolves, like, I think they beat them by like 20 some points
Oh, okay.
in the last game against the Hawks.
Damn, that takes me off the under.
Over.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, you ain't touching the under on the Hawks game now. Okay, that makes sense. So it seems like they obviously they want to get back, right, and they're gonna want to get it back on the offensive side of the ball. So that pushes towards the over. Yeah. From a side perspective, though, well, they're dogs, so 2-1 straight up, 1-2 at ATS only. The dog is the one that they didn't cover and they lost, but that was the Celtics. I mean, this is a different team here with the Wolves. Only game on the road too, so that makes it a little complicated as well to read it in this one. But
Look at that fourth quarter though.
yeah. So I know Chris mentioned this in the chat, but we kind of been looking at the Hawks in a specific angle as far as fading them, and that's going from home to road this season. They've been really bad in that travel spot, but you can say the same thing with the Wolves, and this is why I said there was a lot of competing stuff earlier, is because if you go on the Wolves side, we go from home home favorite. They haven't covered a single spread as a home favorite coming off of a road game. So that would bode well for the Hawks side. But like I said, there's just so much stuff competing. That over thing that you mentioned or that we just saw earlier kind of talks me off of the under. But this is one of the trends that was kind of pointing me towards the under. Also going back to um, the Hawks going from home to road as well. The average amount of points here is under the 241. And we know that threshold of 240 has been something that we've been targeting since like mid-January too, like the unders. So I was only looking in that direction, kind of just staying away from the side, but I maybe I just don't touch it at all. It's just so much stuff competing from the total inside aspect for me, but people might touch this from a prop perspective. I mean, there should be a lot of points had, even if it doesn't reach a 240, whether it does or not. Chris, anything on this game?
Nah, it's too much, RC, like you said. Too many conflicting trends. Cat being back. Did DeJounte get ruled out?
DeJounte is ruled out, and then
I think, okay.
Yeah, Bogdanovich is also questionable. So that
questionable, right?
Yeah, that gives me pause about the over as well. Now.
Yeah, on a slate with 10 games, if I see all these different things jump out to me, I'm like, it's easy for me to pass.
Did Trey hit his assist that last game without DeJounte?
I want to say I know he was in double digits, I believe.
Yeah, I know I saw him have 10. He was sitting at 10.5, I think it was, right, Mino?
Yeah, it was 10.5. Anytime with DeJounte's on in there, they always price it at 10.5.
Okay.
So
let's see.
Yeah, he had 12.
Okay. Yeah,
he had 12. Actually, so look, one more thing. So we know that the Hawks, this is a trend that me and you've been following. Timberwolves go under at home when they're home dogs.
Yeah.
But they typically they score a lot of points when they're just home favorites, right? I think what are they? 11-11, right? You see 234. Yeah. But then if you add non-conference to that, they go back down to 7-2 to the under. So it's just too much. I'm off the game. Best of luck to you guys if you plan.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Let's go on to the next one. Damn, I feel like I missed the game, but you guys
Warriors Mavs.
Warriors Mavs. That is it. Yeah. Okay.
Or Grizz Rockets.
No, I got the Grizz Rockets here. I think it's the Warriors Mavs. Hold on, let me add that on here real quick. Warriors on the road, right?
We did Warriors Mavs.
We did?
Yeah, I talked about Christian Wood.
Let's just go and then see if we missed anything.
It's that many games today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right, Rockets and the Grizzlies up next here. What did I have on this game? Shit, I didn't have anything. Yeah, what do you guys have anything on this game here? Rockets Grizz. 13-point line for the Grizzlies here at home. Second leg of back-to-back for the Houston Rockets.
So let's talk this out real quick because I don't think Munov looked like he kind of looking too. So let's talk this out real quick. So the Grizzlies are laying a lot of points at home in a game that Ja Morant is just going to be coming back into. And I think this is more so the books trying to fade the Rockets playing, off of 6 straight home games. So one thing I looked at, I probably won't play this, but one thing I looked at was teams coming off a 6-game homestand. So Site Street 6, and they 12-point dogs. And take the year out, RC. This is going to be crazy. Take the year out.
I do greater than or equal to 6?
Yeah, 6. And then the 12-point dogs. 12-point. I think I got 12-point dogs. So it had to be 12-point road dogs, of course. Since the start of the 2014 season, I think I got them as 0-4 against the spread, losing by 30 points, by almost 30 points. Yeah, that's what I got. It has something like that. So yeah, that's the whole thing. But if you just look at the 2014 season, I think that 0-4 losing by 30 in that spot, losing the first quarter by 9, losing the first half by 18. So for some reason, like these bad teams after a 6-game homestand just get smoked. So we know that the on the opposite side, the Grizzlies have been a pretty good double-digit favorite as well. I think so what I got, RC, is the Grizzlies as double-digit home favorites 6 times this season. In those 6 games, they won in the first quarter by 6, won in the first half by first quarter by 6, and I think winning the first half by 12, 6 in both. Look that up real quick, RC. Grizzlies home favorites this season, double-digit line.
I think I just had that one. Hold on. So I just did double digits in general. So you just want specifically at home, right?
Yeah, the Grizzlies at home is double-digit favorites this season.
6-0, so 6 point there, 12 around 12.
Yeah, it's 12, right? Yeah, so it's 12. Okay, I just want to make sure because I think I wrote it down wrong in my notes. On the opposite side, the Rockets have been playing better ball. I think they're 6-3-1 against the spread in their last 10. But if you look at the 4 games that the Rockets have played post All-Star break, they're actually getting smashed in the first quarter in all those games.
So I just real quick before I moved on to that one, I just wanted to see how the Rockets do as double-digit dogs, and that first quarter is where the big gap is.
Yeah, but more so, RC, because that's for the whole season. We've seen the Rockets kind of turn the leaf a little bit. Post All-Star break in their 4 road games, they're being outscored by 4 in the first quarter, 5 in the second quarter for an average of 9 points, a 9-point deficit at halftime. So I think if I'm playing anything, I'm looking at the Grizzlies early in this one, but it's too much. It's too much for me with Ja coming back and kind of figuring out how they're going to infiltrate him back into the lineup, especially with the Rockets actually playing a little bit better as well.
Yeah. Did you touch anything, Munaf, on this game?
I didn't, man. I think it's just like what Chris said with Ja coming back. We don't know if he's going to be starting, whether he's coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Rockets are playing better, I'll say that, especially on the defensive side. They're actually all the way up to number 17 defensive rating, which is really good for them for what we've seen all season from the squad. So it was a stay away from me. I know I think Jay and a couple of the guys are on the over. I think Pun is on the over for this game. But yeah, nothing official for me.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. I think I did have something that pulled on the over. Let me just double check real quick.
Oh, what about, I see LJ said in the chat, what about Desmond Bane threes? We know the Rocket. I didn't think about that.
I think the 3-point defense has, let me see here. Let's see it from post All-Star break.
I know Stephen Clay just both went for 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're so dead last post All-Star break as far as makes allowed per game. So Desmond Bane is worth the look here. I think that's a really good call there for Desmond Bane here tonight as far as 3-point shots goes. He's made at least 3 against the Rockets in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight games, I believe it is, or 5 straight games, and then 6 out of the last 7. See if I can find that number.
Quick cap, I like it,
Player threes.
Sorry, my bad. What are you guys talking about?
Desmond Bane threes.
Desmond Bane threes.
Just because the
2.5 at minus 135.
135, so it's a little juice, but he probably did it.
Yeah, I think he'll get there for sure. Yeah.
I like that. Desmond Bain threes over 2.5.
If you just do it against the Rockets, RC.
Oh, yep. He likes them. You think Ja's gonna have minutes restriction?
I mean, it's not like he's coming back from an injury or anything, right? I mean, it's just that, the
Coming
stuff that
back
he was
from
dealing
rehab.
with,
That's what he's
yeah,
doing.
for rehab or whatever the case might have been. So,
I think they probably ease him in though. Don't you think, Like I don't think a full workload, right?
yeah, I think
What
I
you
read
think?
that they might even bring him off the bench to start
I was gonna say
the
that probably
first game
they've
back.
been doing that
So,
a lot lately in some other people
yeah.
that I've seen come back from like a long layoff, whether it's an injury or not. Like who was it? Middleton came back off the bench for like a week or
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
I feel like a
Other
month
people-
for Middleton. Middleton was coming off
was
the
it
bench
like a
for a
month?
while.
God
Yeah.
damn.
It was a while, yeah.
All right. All right, let's go on. I think we only got 2 more games. So I did just type in that one game twice. But I do have all 10 games on here. So 2 more games left. Next is the Blazers and the Jazz here. I don't think I had anything on this one either. Yeah, I didn't have anything on this game either. Did you guys like this game? Blazers and the Jazz?
Just close your eyes, ladder up Dame's points to 50, and just call it a day, man. Just check the box score after the game is over.
Lillard.
He had
What do you
60
got, Chris?
game against them, I believe, against the Jazz.
So Lillard versus Jazz. Damn, 60? That was earlier this season.
Yeah. But it's like he has one good game and then he has like a bad game after that. Like you see 9 and 23, and then he had 11 and 32, then
Yeah.
13 and then 60. But
Is who's injured right now for the Blazers team? Or I know the
Grant
Jazz
is out,
have been
right?
kind of hobbled too. They've been missing some guys.
Grant's already out and Simons is already out as well.
Yeah.
So if Dame goes for 9 today, they might lose by 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where else they can get points from? On the Jazz side, is there anyone missing? Is it just is Marketing out again?
He's probable now.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Stay away game except for Dame for 40. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I still can't
can you
trust
real
it.
quick look up how Jazz do after beating an opponent with a win percentage of over 60?
Opponent previous.
Damn.
Who was it? It
They
was
beat the Celtics, right?
the Celtics. Okay.
They beat the Kings.
Oh, my bad. I did it.
last.
My bad.
Oh,
I
the
did it
Kings, my
backwards.
bad.
My bad. I did it backwards. It's supposed to be PO.
Yeah,
there
not
you
much
go.
there.
So 5-4 straight up, 4-5. So nothing super significant, but
Maybe
they're
second
favored
half
in this
over.
spot. So if they're favored, then that's where there's a pretty big gap. So we just say favored after that game.
Yeah, don't waste too much time. Just take the Dame props, call it a day.
All right, let's move on to the next game. The last game here, I think people are gonna have some fun with this one. So we go to the Lakers and the Suns. If you brought it up in the chat this morning, Scott Foster is here. You can only look towards one way, but it seems like there's a lot of people on the Lakers today. What are you guys' thoughts on this game?
I mean,
I'll go first, Munaf.
Yeah,
I don't have any. I'm kicking it to Munaf.
I mean, you zoom out a little bit and you look at it. Okay, look at where the Lakers are in the standings. They need every single win.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, Scott Foster is officiating this game with Chris Paul playing. I mean, I buy into some conspiracy stuff, but I mean, this one kind of it's lining up, isn't it? A little bit.
All right. So my pivot would be the team total under for the Suns, right? Chris,
Yeah.
we were on the Suns team total under like multiple times the past couple of weeks. Yeah. And this is, if we look at just on the Lakers side, shit, I'm looking at the wrong screen. All right, so if we look at the Lakers side and we go home dog and win percentage greater than 50, right? So this is the we already talked about multiple times on why the Suns team total under on other shows, but if we look at their opponent on this one, the Lakers specifically, they do well in this spot. A couple of these games are post All-Star break, right? if you look at the team total, the opposing team total, they've gone what is it, only 2 games where they went over. The opponent went over the team total, but both of those games went into OT. So if we're just talking in general, like regulation, they would have been undefeated on the team total under, basically, right? Like every single game limited their opponent under their team total. So if you don't like the Lakers tonight, maybe that team total under on the Suns would be the best way to go. Because if you look at on the Sun side, their current form offensively, we just go after All-Star break because we know their depth is gone pretty much after KD, right? They've gotten under their team total in 4 of their last 5. Obviously, they went over in this one. This was a high-paced game, pretty tight as well. Kind of pushed that one to go over, but for the most part, their offense has been struggling. I think that's the way that I would continue going in this direction. Plus, the Lakers, I think, where are they at? Second in defensive rating, right behind the Bulls, and that's by a slim margin here. That would be the way that I go. Chris, do you anything to back that up on the Suns team total under?
No, I agree. The Lakers just my team, and they trash for losing to the Rockets. I'll never be able to forgive them. So I'm not talking about their games anymore. Real quick, though, I do want to. Can we go back to Killer Sports real quick and just look at the Suns post? No, keep what you got. Just look at them after KD got hurt. He got hurt against the Mavs on that Sunday. So can we look at him after March the 5th? Then you probably see even more of what you're already seeing.
I'll do 8. 5 ATS, 5-1 to the over. Damn, they go 5-1 to the over, but they go under their team total in 4 of them. This one was more like a key player out after the first game, right? That's one thing that we look at. Just like
they caught the Thunder on the second leg of back-to-back as well. I remember that
gotcha.
game. Yeah.
Man, Thunder got their revenge.
Yeah.
All right. Was Giddey out? I mean, not Giddey. SGA out. He was.
Yeah, he was.
No wonder that line was off. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can only look towards the Suns team total under. I might end up getting there, to be honest. Did you guys take the Lakers money line or on the spread at all?
If I have a good day early on, I'll put a little bit on the Lakers.
Make sure it's a little bit,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good point though. Like waiting until later, because I don't think there's any injury implications that's going to affect the line or total after after later on. So that makes sense to wait. But I do like the team total under on the Sun side.
This should
Whether or
be
not
a
the
monster
Lakers
game
win or cover.
Yeah, for Davis as well, because DeAndre Ayton's already been ruled out for this game. He has I think still dealing with a hip issue. I think earlier this year, AD dropped like 37 and 21 against the Suns in that game. So if you want to look at AD rebound props again, I mean,
that's a good point. That was is it Landale is the only center they have left?
They got Miss back Biyombo.
They have Biyombo. I think they
Biyombo,
starting.
Yeah. Oh, that's even better for the under.
Yeah, that is better for the under. I see. What about Devin Booker? Did you look at Devin Booker at all? With like his game log against the Lakers in LA specifically? I feel like he always cook us for some reason.
It's up and down with him. I mean, there's some 30 points games in there, but
versus the Lakers in LA specifically.
Yeah, in LA specifically.
It has been really consistent. He's been going more towards the under.
Oh, okay.
Going up to the Kardashian.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Then look at how many turnovers he got. All right. Well, hey, what? How about AD? Oh, look, huh? Say that one more time. Go ahead, Munaf. My bad.
He breaking up again, I think. A little bit.
Oh shit. Okay. I was gonna ask about AD here. I know he mentioned AD like kind of putting up the points, but if the rebounds aspect of it, let me actually bring that up right now.
Do you guys hear me?
Ah, shit, he's out. Versus the Suns. Oops. We pop back in here. Gonna be a clown show. Are you there?
Yeah.
Nope.
Can you guys hear?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Yep.
Nah, that fool's broke. No, he's broken. all right, I see you moving. All right, there you go. I think you're good. Rebounds, but his rebound number is probably hella high,
13 and
right?
a
Like
half.
13 and a half, maybe, or what is it?
13 and a half.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, damn, look at that. 5 steals, five blocks. He just puts up numbers against Phoenix. Yeah. I don't know if the only thing that I could say is what I'm gonna bet, and that's gonna be that Suns team total under. I don't know if I'm touching a prop on that one. All it is Portis for me today. Let's go to the best bet section. And any last comments you guys have? There you go. Chris, I'll start with you here.
All right, let's get into it. So first, let's go to the Knicks game. I'm on the Knicks first half plus the 1. Sliding over to the Philly and Chicago game. I do like Philly. I did play them minus 3.5. I also took the under in that game, under 222. Also, going back to the first game, I am going to add that under between the Knicks and the Miami Heat, under 224.5, if I can still get that number. But still just kind of letting it go up. I don't think it's going to go up to 225, but if so, I like it even more. And then we talked about Denver. I'm on their team total over the 117. May get there and add a little on the first half over as well, because I do feel like Washington just gives it up, as we kind of saw in the Craze when they're a home dog on the second leg of a back-to-back.
First half team total, or just the first half over in general?
First half team total. I don't think the Wizards going to be able to slow them down either. I know Munaf said he liked the first half over, but team total over, I think they both kind of correlated. So those would be the top looks. I know we also talked about the Bucks first quarter. I played that also, so I'll add that one, and I'll just leave you guys with that. I think, how many is that? I see like 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you include the first half Nuggets team total, so 7
Let's
total.
Let's do it.
Right, let's go. Munaf, what you got?
First quarter over in the Denver Nuggets and the Washington game.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks first quarter as well, spread and team total. Warriors Mavs over, and then Brunson over assists 5.5, and then Jokic over rebounds.
Over assist. That was 5.5, right? 5.5.
Yeah.
What's Joker's rebounds?
11.5.
11.5. All right, so that's good there. Are you gonna I know we talked about the Hawks a little bit. Are you gonna end up getting there with the Hawks, or are you gonna?
I'm gonna dig a little more into it. With Bogdanovich now questionable and Murray out, I'm gonna have to dig a little more into it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So for me, I did take the Knicks Heat under 224.5 already. The Suns team total under, I like that a lot. So I'm probably gonna add that to my card. Team total under. The Nuggets first quarter and first quarter team total over. I'm gonna go half unit on both of those. There. Let's see. Nuggets. Sorry. Now I can't remember what we talked about on the Nuggets game, but I think it was the team total. Yeah, the team total over 117. I'm gonna look more into that one. I'm gonna make sure. I gotta make sure I take either the spread or the team total. I'm gonna decide between the two of those. I also like the Sixers side. What number is it at right now?
3.5.
3.5.
Still 3.5. Okay. I like the Sixers side here. I also do lean towards the under, but I do like the side more than the under in that game. And then Lakers, man, I kind of want to get there with the Lakers, but I think I'm just going to stick with that team total under for the most part. Other than that, Bobby Portis, rebounds and points there to go over. I think he does get around 20, but like I said, if you build it yourself, 12 points, 8 rebounds, doesn't even need to get the double-double. You're still getting around plus 280.
Good look.
That's it. That is it, guys. That's the end of the show. Chris got his spaces going on in a couple hours there. Munaf, he got a whole bunch of stuff going on over on a Sports Gambling Podcast Network. So make sure you see the Twitter tags right there, right below them. Make sure you guys add them if you don't already. Shout out to everyone that is watching on the show on YouTube here. I think earlier, did we start this week, Chris, where you started adding your link? Or was it last week?
I think it was early this week. We started on Monday.
Earlier this week. So now a lot of people are actually seeing this show on Chris's channel now. StreamYard has added a feature where people can add their YouTube link. So shout out to everyone that's joining from Chris's YouTube channel. I also have my own YouTube channel, but I do this one, and then once the baseball season starts up, we'll see what happens if we add anything else. But make sure you guys follow all of us, subscribe to our channels, share the show as well. I know a lot of people from Chris's channel is used to what he does, but we do something a little bit different. Chris actually talks about it on his spaces, that he comes on the show multiple times. But with all of that said and done, man, the chat has been popping the last couple of weeks as well. I think everyone's really getting into the groove. I know it's late into the season, but a lot of people are adding a lot of great information to the capping process. So shout out to you guys as well. And with that said, end of the show, guys. I always have to end like this as well. Whether you fade us or follow us, it is on you guys to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Till next time. Peace.